people will say Andrew has a bunch of baby mamas and that he's irresponsible. But truthfully, a man's true obligations are protection and provision. This is why the Bible said if you rape a woman, you have to marry her. People see that as, oh, that's bad for the woman. But what they were trying to do is say to men, you're responsible for what you create. You now need to protect her. You must provide for her because of what you've done. It was almost like marriage was not a punishment for the man, but an obligation for the man. And he was explaining that marriage throughout the longest period in human time was protection and provision. That's all it was. A king could have more wives because he could protect and provide for more wives. He's saying marriage was not bouquets. Marriage was not remembering anniversaries. Marriage was not date nights. Marriage was not holding hands. Marriage was, do I protect you? Do I provide for you? So he effectively defended me and said, Andrew does not have a bunch of baby mamas. He has a bunch of wives because they're all paid for. They're all protected. They all have private security. They're all in mansions. They all drive Bentleys. He's doing his job as a man. That's what a man is supposed to do, effectively. So I would say to my daughter, are your bills paid? Now, if he cuts the money off, or if he refuses to help her or protect her, if he leaves her in the ghetto, that's a different conversation. But if my daughter came to me and said, Dad, say, yes, what's up, my love? I'm living in my mansion, and I'm driving my Bentley, and I have my 4 nannies and my private security guards, and I found out that my ultra-rich husband has a little girlfriend who's 19, and I'm 36 now, and he has his little young, hot, cute girl. I'd say, don't stress him out and piss him off. Just give him 2 days off a week and get over it.
What's going on, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Two-Tone man. Today, we got my boy, Andrew Tate, back on a nice podcast, man. I ain't gonna lie, Andrew Tate been locked up. And Tristan Tate been locked up for a long time. We finna see what they finna talk about. We finna go and hit the like button, subscribe button. Let's get it. Let's go.
Yep.
He's like you, okay?
Okay.
And confident, not intimidated by
I'll
you.
whoop his ass, but yeah.
He's respectful, but he's confident, and he's kind of like you. He comes in with a swagger because that's what they're used to, right?
Of course.
They get married. 5 years later, they got 2 kids.
Okay.
She finds text messages. She finds out he's got a handful of girls on the side. You find out through your guys who run the clubs that they report, because people are going to, guys like us, we're going to be reported back. Everything's coming back to us.
Of course.
Okay.
You find out he's hooked up with 3, 4, 5 girls on the side. Are you confronting him?
So I say this, and I've answered this question before, and people find my answer surprising, but I'm going to be very honest with you. My plan for my daughters, and my number one hope for my daughters, if I could plan their lives head to toe, would be for them to, at a relatively young age, meet a man who is older than them, who can take care of them financially and get pregnant and have a family. If my 21-year-old daughter wanted to marry a 48, 50-year-old guy, I'd be very happy with that. I'd be like, good. He's probably settled down a bit. He has enough money to take care of you. You're going to be good. In this scenario, which you've just described, if the man is financially providing for her, if he's offering her provision and protection and she's safe, I would truthfully, from the bottom of my heart, say to her, look, there's no point losing the man who's paying for you, who takes care of you, who will die for you, who protects you, who does all of those jobs as a man because he's running around with a few silly girls. There's no point leaving him. You can confront him, we'll talk to him, but there's no point in destroying your family home over this. That's what I would say. People may think I'm not telling the truth, but I'm telling you that's what I would genuinely say. You know, we talk about marriage. There's a really great guy. There's a really great guy on Twitter, Devin Erickson, I think his name is. Everyone follow him. And he replied to my video I made on Elon Musk. No, that's not him. That's a little dork.
From Nebraska.
That's a little nerd from Nebraska. That's one of the pastor's kids. That's one of the pastor's sons. We don't need them.
Devin Erickson almost got a shout out. Okay, that guy's not a dork. All right.
All right. Find his reply. I would like to read this verbatim, please. Find his reply to my Elon video where I explain that having children is the business of kings. Please find, he did a thread breakdown of it. This is about 2 weeks ago. His reply to my Elon video. If you can find it, that's not it, there's another one. If you can find it, I would love to read it verbatim because he explains something which is so pertinently important. It's extremely important. So we'll find it. But he talks about what marriage effectively is.
While he's looking for it, do you have a summary?
Yeah. So what he's saying is people will say Andrew has a bunch of baby mamas and that he's irresponsible. But truthfully, a man's true obligations are protection and provision. This is why the Bible said if you rape a woman, you have to marry her. People see that as, oh, that's bad for the woman. But what they were trying to do is say to men, you're responsible for what you create. You now need to protect her. You must provide for her because of what you've done. It was almost like marriage was not a punishment for the man, but an obligation for the man. And he was explaining that marriage throughout the longest period in human time was protection and provision. That's all it was. A king could have more wives because he could protect and provide for more wives. He's saying marriage was not bouquets. Marriage was not remembering anniversaries. Marriage was not date nights. Marriage was not holding hands. Marriage was, do I protect you? Do I provide for you? So he effectively defended me and said, Andrew does not have a bunch of baby mamas. He has a bunch of wives because they're all paid for. They're all protected. They all have private security. They're all in mansions. They all drive Bentleys. He's doing his job as a man. That's what a man is supposed to do, effectively. So I would say to my daughter, are your bills paid? Now, if he cuts the money off, or if he refuses to help her or protect her, if he leaves her in the ghetto, that's a different conversation. But if my daughter came to me and said, Dad, say, yes, what's up, my love? I'm living in my mansion, and I'm driving my Bentley, and I have my 4 nannies and my private security guards, and I found out that my ultra-rich husband has a little girlfriend who's 19, and I'm 36 now, and he has his little young, hot, cute girl. I'd say, don't stress him out and piss him off. Just give him 2 days off a week and get over it. That's what I would say. That's the truth. That's what I would say. Welcome to the real world. It may not be nice, it may not be pretty. The real world isn't. But at least you're paid for, at least you're taken care of.
Is this it? Rob?
And I ain't gonna cap, man. Hey, if you tune in this video, hit that like button, subscribe button. I ain't gonna cap with you. I rock with Andrew Tate. I ain't gonna lie to you. I rock with Andrew Tate for real. Because when it comes to being a man, when it comes to being a provider, when it comes to being a protector, a man got to go through hell and back just to even get that type of status, just to even get that type of respect. Like, you're going to have to really put in some work in order to get those type of accolades. Now, I'm not saying if you know what I'm saying, you married your wife or whatever the case may be. And, you know, I ain't saying you should go cheat on her or do all this other things, but it's some people that, you know, they get bored and they do what they got to do. But at the same time, you got to make sure that you handling your duties as a man. So if you paying all the bills, you feel me? You giving her a lifestyle and she ain't really stressed about nothing. Cause there's some girls out here that's working hella hours. Like for a nurse's example, they working 12, 14-hour days, 3 to 4 days out the week. You don't think they tired? Like, be for real. If somebody came into their life and said, hey, you ain't gotta do that no more. Or if you just want to work real bad, you can work part-time. You don't think they gonna take that? Because at the end of the day, who wanna work every day? Who wanna work every day? Be for real. It's us. It's our job as a man to get up and go get it. And then we pass it down to our family members and to our loved ones. That's how it works. The life of a man is hard. It's definitely hard. No cap.
Yes.
You want to read this? Okay. Time to take a break. Shit down and give some context. Andrew Tate in this video gives us the what. Here's the why. Tradcons don't know what marriage is or what it's for because they think traditional means 100 years ago. The white Christian European model of marriage isn't traditional marriage at all. It's a redefinition of marriage. It's marriage 2.0. We'll see how in a minute. First, we need to admit that marriage isn't instinctive. There are species that mate for life, sandhill cranes and whatnot. Monogamy isn't a struggle for them. It's instinctive. They just do it. Humans do not instinctively mate for life. They just mate. The men mate when they can impress women. Women mate when they are impressed by men. And the women of the hominid pack babysit each other's children. Fast forward to the beginning of a Neolithic era. Now all of a sudden they're actually something to own. Fields, cattle, buildings, wealth, and men own the wealth because they were the ones who did stuff you need to do to get it. Why the men? Because men had to impress women to mate. All women have to do is mate to be impressed. But since property was Neolithic, humans survived, and men had all the property, mating arrangements had to adapt so that a mother could eat and a son could be raised and inherit the father's cattle. If a man put a child in a woman, she was his wife. If he put a child in another woman, she was also his wife. If he put a child in 100 women, he had 100 wives. And those women and children could rely on his spear for defense and his fields and cattle for support. That's marriage. If you want to understand this context, look at the part of the Bible that says a man who rapes him, this is what you were talking about. Yeah. Got it. Sounds insane if you go through it. Modern Arab Americans run comments about ancient people, didn't care about romance and mate choice. They were busy trying to... Okay, so by the way, you know Amor, remember Amor? Did you ever meet Amor or no?
No.
You definitely know Amor.
Of course, yeah.
Amor would come from here. Amor's an Armenian man who was my chief compliance officer.
Love Amor.
Love Amor. When we sold the company and he got a $1 million check,
Amor.
yeah, it was a great name. And by the way, that name matches exactly who you think he is.
Yeah.
Ladies loved him.
I bet.
Armenian guy with an accent who would speak French.
Yeah, he was French.
And he would call all the girls darling. darling, hey, darling, and they would just fall in love with this guy.
Yeah.
He explained this was the purpose of man. It's purely mating. He would always explain this. That's what it's about. Back in the days, the guys who had it, their job was to mate. Now, we are living in a different era.
Of course
today.
we are.
Facts.
So the mindset has changed slightly on what they're thinking. I added two other things. I added intentionality, accessibility to kids so they can get a hold of you, love, and example. Partly kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah, and accessibility is also a very important one. I'll be honest. Like, if a lot of this comes down to money, but I don't want to be shallow, but so much in life comes down to money because money is your capability to do many things, right?
Right.
There's no way you can effectively raise that many children without a huge source of money. Of course, it's very expensive to do. But if you do have a huge source of money, I think Amor and I would have a very long conversation about the fact that cars get boring and watches get boring, and you may as well have a whole bunch of children. You may as well have a whole bunch of sons if you can afford to raise them, and you have the time. You can take the time out of work because you're rich enough to put effort and focus into them. I'm not looking to just have children and abandon them. I'm not trying to just create genetic progeny that are forgotten about. The Tate boys need effort. The Tate boys need energy. The Tate boys need money because they're the Tate boys. But I like to think I can afford 20. So that's what I'm going to do. And women, and this is something else we have to discuss about women because this actually ties back into the human trafficking and the feminism and all these things. Women are in a very interesting position now in Western society where they are equals. While also being better than us because they're girl bosses, while also being children because every time they make a decision that other people don't like or they end up not liking, they didn't do it, someone tricked them. So we're in this three-phase garbage scenario where women are better than you, plus children, plus you're equal. Because when I say that the women I'm with are happy for me to have children with other women, you've tricked them. They're full-grown adults. I thought they were equal. I thought they could come up to their own conclusions. I thought they could sit there and go, you know what? A life from Andrew Tate. I get to be one of the most famous men in the world. He's extremely security conscious. I get to be very rich. I know my kids are going to be brown, sexy, tall, strong. They're going to have Patek Philippe's, diamonds, etc. It's fine. That's their decision to make, right? But people are going to pretend that I fooled them somehow. And I actually think this is an interesting segue into how we fix modern society. And one of the most important distinctions we need to make as a civilization in the West, because all of our problems, from false rape charges, which I know a lot about, to feminism, to all of this garbage, comes down to this impossible scenario where women are girl bosses and better than men at everything, while also being our equal, while also needing DEI to get anywhere, while also being children who are permanently tricked into everything. And this is a really interesting scenario to be in.
Dang.
And I can give you a very simple example. If there's a crazy bitch, woman, Megan Kelly, look now. If there's a crazy woman, right? And she's nuts, and she takes Valium to sleep every night, and she's on mental health medication, and she drinks all the time, and she's crazy, and everyone knows she's a hoe. She's been with all the guys in town, and I marry her. And then she divorces me and takes half my money. And I come to you guys and go, guys, I used to be rich. I had to cut the baguette in half. I lost it. She took all my money. You will sit and say to me, why did you marry her? She's nuts. Everyone knows she's nuts. You will blame me, right? Whereas if a woman goes out, takes drugs, gets high, gets drunk, goes to the club, kisses 4 men, kisses the 5th man, gets in the taxi with him, goes back to the hotel, initiates sex with him, has sex with him, has no problem with that sex, asks him for a handbag 2 years later. He says no, then cries rape. No one will say, why did you do all those things? Why were you high? Why were you in his hotel? Why did you have sex with him? Instead, we'll say, that man's a predator. Why? We always blame the man. Women are not held accountable ever. It's always the man's fault all of the time. My argument to that is, if that's the paradigm, if the men are permanently the only ones we blame for anything, then how can you make women better than us at everything and give them any kind of autonomy? You have to either say to women, listen to your father, then listen to your man, because you don't know good for yourself, or you have to say, you know good for yourself, so you're responsible for the scenarios you find yourself in. All of the world's problems come from the fact that we're picking and choosing, like Schrodinger's cat, picking and choosing at random, depending on the scenario, whether a woman is better than a man, or a completely helpless child who is fooled all of the time. And when you apply this to society, there's not a single problem you can't tie back to this exact thing. And it's scary and it's dangerous. There's not a single man on the planet now in the Western world that can even truthfully get consent to have sex, because consent can be retrospectively taken back. So you could be a man and meet a woman and have sex with her and have a full happy relationship. You could be with her for 2 years and you could be together and she can live with you and everything could be fine. And then the second she doesn't like you, she can say to the police, he abused me. Like, did he abuse you? Well, he didn't hit me, but he emotionally abused me.
Oof. Ooh.
How? What does that mean?
Ooh.
I felt sad sometimes. Okay, arrest him. What?
I ain't gonna lie. He got a valid point. And that happens. And that happens. That happens a lot. Believe it or not, that happens a lot. And you got to be very careful on what type of females that you dealing with, because that can happen. Everything that goes on, let's say if it's a bad scenario, whatever the case may be, y'all fell out, wherever the case may be, it's gonna come back to you. How did he treat her? What was he doing? What happened? It's always gonna come back to the man. 99.9% of the times, and you're gonna have to prove yourself. You gotta prove yourself that you innocent. They gonna already assume that you guilty. Straight up like that. You got to prove yourself that you innocent. I ain't gonna cap. That's kind of crazy to me. That's low key tough. Tate spot on with this, no cap.
What? This is an impossible scenario for a man to be in. This is why also I have my women, I have my wives. I'm done. All these beautiful Instagram models, stop begging. I'm sorry. I'm done. I don't trust any of you. I'm done. Because if I talk to any new girl, it's going to be great until I don't buy the handbag. It's going to be great till I don't put her on that jet because another girl's on that jet. Now I got all these problems and I've had enough. So I'm done with women. But isn't it absolutely insane that we're living in a world now where no one wants to address the fact that women can weaponize the legal system to destroy men absolutely at random? And they do it to every single man. This is why they attacked me with sexual crimes, because even the accusation is enough for them to get what they want, which is to damage your reputation. And they can simply do it by lying by omission. Let me ask you a question as a professional. Let's be pertinent. Let's be smart here. If I'm the police and I want to destroy a man, and I call 100 women who he's ever known, and 99 say he's a great guy, and 1 says he's a bad guy, I don't have to mention that 99 said he's a great guy. I can lie by omission. I can ignore all 99 who defended him, all 99 who say he's a great guy, all 99 who says the one other girl is a psycho liar. We can ignore that too. We can take this one girl and destroy the man. What's this one girl's motivation? Well, he's no longer giving her money. He's famous, he's rich, he's well known, he's living his life, he has a new girlfriend. Let me ask you this, and I don't even know the answer. What percentage of women are on mental health medication? What percentage of women are depressed? You think women don't lie? I would argue, and I'm going to guess, 17 to 24% of women are on drugs because they can't control their own brains. But we're going to listen to the one we find out of 100 saying a man's a bad guy because he made her feel sad once 4.5 years ago. Destroy this man? Do you not understand that this paradigm, 17.7%. I'm a genius. I'm a genius.
56% receive mental health treatment.
Then half of them are nuts. I'm a genius. So this is my point. So, but let's understand, why has the Matrix put this paradigm together? Why do they allow and continue to tell us that women are better than us to destroy masculinity? They're equal to us, even though they need DEI. And at the same time, they're children who are susceptible to our godlike powers to control their minds, and that we're responsible for all of their decisions. It's very simple. Because by putting together that paradigm, they can pick any man at random they don't like. Me, Trump, Hegseth, I think, had this. Matt Gaetz had this. They can pick any man at random they don't like. They can call every girl he's ever known, and they can get a criminal case. That's how they do it. Let me tell you something else about women. This happened to me. I had women who didn't even intend to rat on me, and they didn't. But the police bring them in. Women are not prepared for 10-hour police interviews. If you bring a woman in and go, did Andrew ever hurt you? No. Did he ever abuse you? No. He's abusive to women. Well, he wasn't abusive to me. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Well, did he ever make you sad? Well, we argued sometimes. Yeah, so that's abuse. Well, I don't think it is. Well, when you were sad, what did you do? Well, we just went out. You just ignored me and went to work. With another girl, right? Yeah, I think so. After 10 hours, they end up believing they're a victim. They brainwash them. And they know what they're doing. The police are trained to do this so they can get that one chick to wreck your life with. And this is what's extremely important. Anyone who understands the world, they do this on purpose so that no man is safe, because it is the warriors, the men. Now, if you're the kind of man who's going to stand up and fight against the system and fight against the Matrix and resist enslavement, have you had sex? Probably. You're probably not an incel virgin, right? You're probably the kind of guy who knows some chicks. That's the attack vector always. They go, Andrew Tate, girls. Hegseth, girls. Matt Gaetz, girls. Trump, girls. They use women. They weaponize them against men. And this is something that not a lot of people understand. And it's scary, and it's something we need to fix. As a society, we have to make a decision. Are women sentient beings? Do women come to their own conclusions or not? Let's talk about human trafficking. Let's talk about human trafficking. Nobody who's accusing me and tweeting these stupid things even knows my fucking charges. I thought human trafficking, I didn't know what human trafficking was. I thought human trafficking was getting someone, beating them up, putting them in chains, dragging them somewhere, keeping them chained up, and forcing them to do something, sex or wash dishes, whatever. That's what I thought human trafficking was. But in this insane subjective world where women are children who can be fooled into anything, they're saying human trafficking is, no, you used the lover boy method. You were nice to her. And because you were nice to her and you used financial incentives to make her do something, you're telling me I was nice to my girlfriend and bought her a handbag and that made her do something? And that's human trafficking? Guys, analyze this. If you are nice to a woman and buy her a present and she does anything ever, even if you didn't tell her to do it, they could say, he made her do that.
I'm not going to lie to you. I might get a lot of backlash from this, but oh well. What Tate talking about, that's true. Cause you want to know who the top suspect is for that type of stuff? The diddler. And it's not funny. It's not funny. You feel me? I don't condone no human trafficking. But let's be real. Let's be real. If somebody is paying, right? And it's a mutual exchange. Okay? What does that mean? Think about it. Like, think about it. If I feel like if somebody's not physically forcing you to do something and you want something in return, y'all know what the conditions is. Y'all know what the terms and conditions is. Now, in my head, okay, I'm thinking human trafficking like, I see Miss Cheryl walking down the street. I hit her with the crowbar, put the bag over her head, throw her in the van, and we drive all the way down to New Mexico. You know what I'm saying? But this is crazy. This is crazy. Comment down below what is y'all idea of human trafficking. You know what I'm saying? That's my idea of human trafficking. Like, y'all didn't throw her in the van. Y'all threw her in the 18-wheeler and y'all moving them bodies. You know what I'm saying? But this is crazy. I ain't gonna cap. This is OC.
He made her have TikTok. And even if she says, no, he didn't make me have TikTok, or the girls in my case saying, no, he didn't hurt us. The girls in my case are defending me. Doesn't matter what you say, he brainwashed you. He made you have TikTok because he bought you handbags. Guys, please understand, no man is safe from this bullshit. No man is safe.
Nobody knows.
That's why they keep this so vague. People talk about consent all the time. You need to get consent, get consent. How can you get something they can take away years later?
Yeah, make them sign that paper.
That's why a huge proportion of the men, the young men in the world today, are just checking out girls and checking out sex. Like, oh, fuck this. It's a mess. I'm not even getting involved in it. I can't blame them. It's a minefield. Nobody's safe from this garbage. Absolutely nobody.
Nowadays, more than ever,
I ain't gonna cap. I ain't saying folks is checking out and hitting a bit, but at the same time, I feel like dudes are more aware of, you know, the world that we are living in today. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you ain't got no charisma or any type of structure, it's gonna be hard for you to pull a girl, because everybody low key kind of delusional. Like, how you say you want a rich dude, a rich man, but you can't even fathom the scenario on him dating other women if he's, you know, rich as hell. Feel me? If I'm up 40, 50 million, I'm probably not gonna date one chick. Feel me? I'm just being honest. I'm probably not. Now, I love her for sure, 110%. And if I'm up 100 mil, come on, like, be for real. But at the same time, how many people do you know that's up 100 million, $50 million? Like, let's be real. You're looking at the average 20 to 25-year-old, man. They not even making, you know what I'm saying? Let's be real. They not making over 200K. Let's be honest. I'm 27 and I don't make 200,000. You feel me? I'm trying to get it. Don't get it twisted. I'm trying to get it, but come on, man. Hit the like button, subscribe button, comment down below. What y'all think about the video? It's about 2 tough 1. I'm gone.